In today's video, the focus will be on one of the most interesting, exciting, and up-and-coming white wines. It's also one that generally will not set you back a whole lot of cash. The focus will be on Albariño. I'll talk a little bit about the grape variety, where it's grown, and what you can expect to find in your wine glass. As for me, I'm Bob Paulinski, Master of Wine. I've worked in the wine trade for more than 40 years, and I post YouTube videos as often as I can. I had been thinking of making this video for a long time. The final necessary nudge came when I attended an educational seminar and tasting of Albariño from Rias Baixas, Spain. It provided a chance to take a deep dive into the topic, along with an opportunity to taste wines from 20 of the top producers of the region, made in a wide variety of styles. After the seminar and tasting, I made my way to Total Wine and More to pick up a couple of examples that reflect both the true character of the grape variety along with the place of origin. Within the U.S., one of the wines, Paco Lola, is found nationally in Total Wine, but it's also sold in a number of other retailers as well. The other label, Valdus Soe, is sold exclusively through Total in the U.S. Both sources have a presence on the international market. Albariño is a white grape variety with a historical link to Rias Baixas in Galicia, Spain. It's a thick-skinned grape variety, which may not sound like a big deal, but depending on the winemaking method, it can provide an opportunity to bring interesting nuance into the wine. Occasionally, it's made into sparkling, sometimes it's oak aged, many times it'll be aged on the lees, which adds a textural element. The bottom line is many options exist, and potentially the wines have excellent aging potential. About 70% of the world's Albariño is grown in Rias Baixas in the northwest corner of Spain, with the Atlantic Ocean to the west and Portugal to the south. Within the region, there are thousands of small parcel grape growers, nearly 200 wine producers, and a high percentage of women winemakers. 99% of the production in the area is white, the vast majority of that being Albariño. The U.S. is the number one export market, but the wines have wide international distribution. About 25% of the production comes from northern Portugal, where it's called Albariño, along with a small amount from Australia, New Zealand, the UK, and the U.S. There are some sensational versions coming out of Uruguay. When you're out shopping for Albariño from Rias Baixas, it can be challenging to know which style you're getting, but one indicator is price. If the price is under $25 per bottle, it's likely a bright, fresh style with plenty of primary fruit character and very little or no oak influence. Higher price wines are likely coming from one of the 5 subregions, and in many cases, they're being influenced by a greater amount of oak. In terms of food and wine pairing, Albariño is made for seafood. It's ideal with shrimp, lobster, crab, and all sorts of fish. It's a classic pairing with oysters. For me, it's the perfect match with dishes that bring some spicy heat. It's great with gumbo and all sorts of spicy Asian dishes. The bright fruit character, lifted acidity, and moderate alcohol levels are the key to countering the spice, versus wines that have elevated alcohol levels that tend to accentuate the spicy heat in the food. If you've not yet subscribed to my channel, please consider doing it right now. Also hit the like button, definitely hit the notification bell, that way you'll be kept up to speed on all things happening here. If you have any questions or comments, please post them down below. I do my very best to follow up on each and every one. First up is the 2022 Paco Lola Albariño. Aside from being sold through Total Wine, it also has good availability through other U.S. retailers, along with some good international presence. Expect to pay around $20 per bottle. So this brand of Paco Lola has been around for about 20 years, and it's made up of several hundred small family-run properties. They contribute their fruit to the winery. Oftentimes, the brand is known as the polka dot wine. And it's pretty cool. They also carry that over to the cork as well. But as for the wine, The color of this looks exactly as it should. It's very pale in color. It has that very youthful appearance. The aroma is just awesome. It has that very lifted peach apricot character, a little citrus note to it. It's all primary fruit. I mean, it's bright, it's very expressive, vibrant, there's good intensity, great purity. I mean, just love the way this smells. I wish YouTube had smell-o-vision. It smells that good. On the palate, nice weight, good presence. There is no elevated alcohol in this wine. It's about 13%, so there's no alcoholic heat whatsoever. And there's a little bit of a textural quality to this wine. I don't know all the specific details on how this wine was produced, but I would say this has a little bit of lees contact because it has a little bit of a textural fullness to it, but very nice on the palate, great length on the back palate as well. I mean, this is just a wonderful wine for around 20 bucks. And if you're a Sauvignon Blanc fan, this is a great alternative, wonderfully aromatic, just really beautiful from start to finish. I'm a big fan. I love this wine. The second wine is the 2023 Valdus Sosego. This is a specific label that is sold exclusively through Total Wine in the US. Other labels from the same producer are sold within the broad market, including internationally. I bought this specific wine on promotion for a bit under $20 per bottle. As for the closure used in this wine, it's a little bit of a surprise. It's synthetic. It's the type of closure that was used quite commonly 15, 20 years ago. I don't recall the full history on this, but I believe it has some link to the medical industry. I think at least that's the origins of it. But every now and then you'll come across these. I'm curious to know what you think about these. Please post a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. As for the wine, the color is a bit different than wine 1. A little more pale in color. There's a slight greenish tinge to this one as well. The aroma is that peach apricot and a green apple characteristic. All primary fruit, bright, fresh, clean, lively, tick all the boxes. It's really a bright, fresh style wine. And on the palate, quite different than wine 1. This has more precision, it's more streamlined, a little more focused on the palate. The previous wine was broader, weightier, it had more of an expansive character to it. Not this one. This one is more of a clean, fresh, really focused style. Again, I think this is completely out of stainless steel. I don't believe this has any of the lees contact like the previous wine because of the absence of that textural component. So a different representation of Albariño. Bright, clean, lively, fresh, really zesty. I think you want to get this wine quite chilled as well. It's going to show all that exuberant fruit character, but a very different style. And it really comes down to which is more appropriate for you. Do you like something that is crisper, fresher, brighter? Do you want something that has a little more of a broader, weightier, richer characteristic? Two very good examples. I hope today's video gave you something to think about when you're out shopping for Albariño. You know what I'm going to be drinking tonight? I hope you're drinking something interesting as well. And please stop back again before too long. Cheers.